I've lived 1,000 lives. I've piloted 1,000 souls. I've killed and fought and died just for another role.
This is the Happy Jacks RPG podcast, a roundtable discussion that's a mix of friendship, humor, unbridled enthusiasm, and tabletop RPG topics sent in from around the world.
Just for another
Hello, and welcome to the Happy Jacks RPG podcast, season 34, episode 11, probably.
Most certainly.
We'll ask
We
Stu.
are live from the Strategicon conventions. This is Gateway 2024. This is our amazing panel. My name is Kimmy.
My name is Riley.
My name's Brian.
I am Chris.
Hi, I'm Jason.
And this is our amazing live studio audience. If you've never tuned into the show before, please turn this off and go to a normal episode. Because our live shows are a little bit of barely contained chaos.
We're fine. She's exaggerating.
Yeah, it's fine. We're used to it. But for our convention shows, generally it's like a recap and what's been happening at the convention, what games people have been playing, running, events that have been happening here. If you're looking for the advice show, that's either last week or next week from this episode, or a bunch of other ones for like the last 13 years. So go check those out. That is more a vibe of our normal show. If you liked Barely Contained Chaos, then maybe stick around and then check the other stuff out later. So the way this works is we're going to call people up in sequential order. They are going to talk about games they ran, games they played in, hopefully other things that are hopefully gaming related. We'll see. It'll be great. And yeah, that's how this goes. We make, the peanut gallery up on the stage makes comments. We're entertaining, hopefully. We get a little drinky sometimes, those sort of things. This is an adult show, so we're going to be adults most of the time, sort of, kind of.
Can I
maybe.
take my shirt off this
Nope.
time?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, you can.
Thank you for tuning in next week. No, I'm just kidding. And
Please
as
do, Jim.
always, we are going to start with the grand master of the con and an update right now. So, woo! So I ask you this every con, but who are you and what makes you famous?
Well, I drank a fifth of vodka before. Oh, wait, no. No, my name is Eric Aldrich. I am the convention manager of Strategicon. Been a long
It's okay, you already named it.
That's right. So I don't run anything. I actually don't do anything here at all. So it's a wonderful job, and I get paid to do it, sort of. Anyway, I just wanted to say welcome to Gateway 2024. Hope you're all having a good time. Yeah. And I want to say we're going to hit easily 2,100, probably 22. It'll probably be the largest show post-pandemic.
All right.
But we're not there yet because it's only Saturday night, and so I won't really know the numbers till Monday. But hey, there you go. So thank you all for tuning in, having a good time, and I probably need another shot of vodka. So anyway, talk to you.
And I believe the after party is at Eric's house. So
That is the kind of update we love. All right. Yeah, and we're having a great time. And a bunch of us have run games, played in games, all the things. So let's start with Friday. If you ran or played in a game on Friday that you'd like to talk about. Friday. Woo! Yay! So who are you and what makes you famous? And
Oh, sorry. I'm Davi. I am Davi. I'm Davi. And what makes me famous? Oh, I'm Davi. Okay. Friday night I played in a game called Dreamland. It's an indie game. I try and do an indie game every con because it's a great way to learn things. It's going for Kickstarter in 2025, and the concept is you are avatars of dream beings, similar to like protagonists in some of the trippier Lovecraft stories, or Dursley, or several other folks who wrote chaotic poetry about that time. And the mechanic was kind of interesting, is we each had a role, like the poet or the merchant or whatever, And the storyteller would lay out these word cards. The idea was that these are free-floating like concepts in the dream realm. And in order to do moves is you had to take these cards and make them into poems or words of what you are trying to do. And I like it because it really encouraged creativity and the feel of the game. It does suffer a little bit from a traditional indie game or some games where once you get playing, it's very smooth, but explaining it can be a little difficult. Dreamland, check it out. It's a lot of fun.
Was there a lot of pressure in coming? I mean, it sounds like that sounds hard. If I were a player, I'd be like a little, ooh.
You lie.
Well, I would make it work, but
I mean, it can be. I played the poets, so I was sitting there doing couplets and speaking in iambic pentameter. And I'll admit that I escaped a monster once by filking the underdog theme song.
And I will say that it really brings up a lack of limerick-based RPGs. Why don't we have more?
right.
Yeah.
Right.
I think you know why, Brian.
Yeah.
Specifically.
Yeah. Yeah. He rolled the dice.
Thank
he chunked
you.
it.
All right, Stavi. Amazing. So that was Friday. Other Friday.
I'm Friday.
You're Friday.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're gonna do other people first. Yeah. Oh. You had your hand up. You're first, and then. Oh. Okay. They're fighting. It'll be fine. What's your name and what makes you famous other than in your awesome game that's kickstarting next year?
Hi, sorry. I don't take compliments well. I'm Cody.
This is true.
I'm tired and cold, but it's because it's late and I'm a baby,
This
so
is
I like
also
going to
true.
bed early. I played Friday night. I played YAZE's Bed and Breakfast, which is a game I've been playing for a lot because the PDF came out and I got the PDF. But then Stephanie Bryant ran it, and it was great. And I learned. Just watching how she was running it helped me figure out how to actually run it myself, which then I did on this morning. So it's, cool. But we played, what was it? We played A Mug of Winter Cheer, which is the chapter where Yaziba's feeling angsty and there's hot cocoa, and it's great. It was awesome. It was just therapy light, which is what most of the pensive chapters in Yaziba's are. It was great. We had a fun time. Yeah.
Can
Wait,
you
wait,
tell?
come
Oh,
back,
she's,
come back, come
she's
back.
already.
So, well, that too, but also, so you've played this game a couple different times, and so how is this different than previous? Because this is the final version, right? Yeah. Did you see differences between the PDF releases and then the final version that's been released?
I think there weren't a lot of differences. The main difference was I had only been playing it online, and it's like any game hard to play online. So I made all these Google. I don't like Google Sheets. I use Google Docs like a weirdo. But I made a bunch of these Google Docs templates to play the game online, and it was kind of clunky, but it worked. Playing it in person it went a much smoother. I don't think much changed from the PDF release to the actual game release. The only thing that I thought was different was you could actually find all 33 bunny drawings. If you know, you know. So yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you. Yes.
This is the Miyazaki influenced one. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was beautiful. I
can
didn't
stand it.
play it, but it looks gorgeous. Oh, hello. Yes. But I thought it was a beautiful set. I would just want to buy it just on looks alone. It was really cool. And how does it play? Is it would you call it whimsical, or does it feel like one of those movies?
No, it definitely feels like a Miyazaki movie. There are four types of moods for the chapters. And each mood has different mechanics, but the mechanics are so light that's very, very easy to get into them. All the characters have these things called bingos and whoopsies, and so the different, but
I love it. Yeah.
the different mechanics for each chapter always interact with those bingos and whoopsies. So that's like the core mechanic. And the bingos are like strengths and things you do for positive interactions and stuff. And whoopsies are like flaws or like mistakes you make and stuff like that. And so that kind of drives, it has similarities, but is definitely not like exactly the same as Belonging Outside Belonging. And it has, it's very narrative focused, but the whimsy actually comes from like the artwork and also the writing itself of like the characters and their like their descriptions, their pick me if blah 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 blah, and like all the pronouns are in everything. It very much sets the tone of like this is a whimsical game, this is a queer game, this is a game about family and like just good vibes and slice of life stuff. And the writing and the art combined are what kind of set that tone. The mechanics are kind of just there to help facilitate the storytelling.
One of the things I thought was interesting that when they were telling me about it was the fact that it's you get almost this giant box for the game, and there's certain chapters that have to be unlocked by playing earlier chapters.
Yeah.
And so it's like you can't just roll into this other thing like, no, you have to finish this other stuff first.
Yeah, no, it's like a legacy role-playing game. Yeah. It's so cool, and it comes with like a sticker sheet, and on the sticker sheet there are these little keys, and there's even lock stickers that you can relock things. The reason I started playing it online is because I was like, okay, I want to get some of this stuff unlocked, and the book does say, you can ignore it and lock and unlock stuff, as if you really want. And I was like, no, I'm a rule follower. So I played it with my friends a bunch. I unlocked the Moon Prince, who is an additional resident. The residents are like the staff and the main characters of the story of Yazeba's Bed and Breakfast. It's all pre-generated characters. And then you can unlock other, you almost always get a little sticker at the end of each chapter, and you can put those stickers in shelves. And the shelves are things like the pantry, which is Parrish's domain. He's the cook. Or the broom closet, where Amelie, the maid, keeps all of their stuff and all that stuff. You put the stickers in there, and it unlocks certain chapters, unlocks certain characters. Certain chapters need to have a sticker from 3 different characters to unlock. It's really cool, and it makes like narrative sense.
I think more games need like scratch and sniff stickers, except maybe not if you're playing like Call of Cthulhu. That probably doesn't need scent-based stickers.
Would you like a fish smell?
Yeah. What do old ones smell like? We don't need to know.
We don't need to know. No! Someone said hot dog water, and Jason, you're dead to me.
You heard it here first.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much. Don't worry, you'll hear more about their Kickstarter soon. I have plans. All right, Friday. Other Friday stuff? All right, what do we do? Yeah. Do it, and then do it. Woo! What's your name, and what makes you famous?
Hello. Hi, my name is Jay, also known as NeoFit3 on some of the socials. What makes me famous? Okay, hand right there. I'm a GM that runs games all over the country, and I'm a really nice guy. Yeah. Okay. What's that? So the important for the Wayward Gamer is our Twitch channel. We have a YouTube channel as well, but it's Emporium Wayward Gamer is the actual Twitch channel. We run several different games of Pathfinder, Hunter, Aliens, a lot of different things coming down the pipeline. So we're currently in a lot of pre-production, so to speak. Yay! But I have, one of the other things I run is Star Wars Shadowport Adventures series, which is my kind of series of Star Wars RPG from Fantasy Flight Games. And so the con today was my introduction to the con of Slug Games Part 1, which is your Hunger Games and Squid Games that the Hutts run.
Oh, boy. Ooh, I like that.
Called A Dinner to Die For.
Did they serve Mon Calamari?
Why, yes, they did. And, part 2 was a Dodgeball of Death and, things like that. So, Yeah, exactly. So one of the other things I did was I ran a Kickstarter that backer kick, Kickstarter backer kick.
It's a thing.
Yeah, it's one of those two that just got funded last month called Eldritch Automat. Well, basically, it's horror mechs. So horror. So it's a combination of Angalia and Pacific Rim in the horror universe. And I've been gracious enough that Johanna Games, who created the game, I've been playtesting it ran it last year at PAX Unplugged. So they just got their Kickstarter funded. So they're in the process of creating it. And I brought it to the con and started running it. And one of the backers was there. So it was great to have that, being able to share that particular game since I fell in love with it getting started. And that's what I did.
Exciting. All right. Other Friday stuff? Woo! And you next. Okay. So much Friday stuff. It's so exciting. Hey. Hi. Who are you and what makes you famous besides being on our podcast a lot?
Hi, everyone. I'm Artem. And what makes me famous?
Allgate.
That's right, buddy. My
Allgate.
sweet style.
Jacket. For those who couldn't hear, the response was that jacket and that shirt
Yes, that's right.
for our listening audience.
Thank you, thank you.
I believe you were on Allgate.
Damn right. I was on Allgate. That also made me
On the
famous.
Happy Jacks.
On the Happy Jacks channel. That's right. So,
Famous.
super famous. And on Friday, I famously ran Cairn for in a setting called the Temple of 10,000 Swords, which is a few thousand too many swords, if you ask me.
I'm sorry. What's the temple called?
The Temple of 10,000 Swords. I will make an addendum and apology to the author because the author originally actually wrote it as Temple of 1,000 Swords. I misread it, so I posted it as Temple of
10,000 is
10,000
way
swords.
better. That was an
1,000
improvement.
is like a reasonable amount of swords. 10,000 is, what are we doing?
Look, when you're playing it
you're
at a
wrong.
con, you have to raise the stakes a
You know
little
what it
bit,
is. That's
or
right,
raise the
that's
swords.
right.
as
You
the
know,
case
No,
may be.
hey, anybody
That's
can get
insane.
1,000 swords. Anybody. 10,000? No.
Anybody. Anybody in this room can get 1,000 swords. Ton of.
As Malcolm Gladwell
Okay.
says, takes 10,000 swords to kill anybody.
So it's a kind of a weird, darkly comedic survival, old school, like Renaissance game. You travel through a temple that's filled, literally lousy with swords, and there are swords of every kind.
Are there 10,000 swords?
And more and more and more.
If you had to ballpark the
There's
sword.
if I had to estimate, maybe 1,000, maybe 10, a range between 1,000 and 10,000 swords. But there's a silver sword.
big
there's
gap.
a
I'm gonna say it's a
crystal
big gap.
sword. There's a spoon sword. There's a
how many of those?
trombone sword. There's a spoon sword, a trombone sword. There's a shit sword. Highbrow stuff, guys.
Well,
What about a spork?
There's a sport.
Okay. A sports sword?
It's a sport.
A
What about a
sport.
trident but with swords?
Ooh, a tri-sword.
That
A
shoots out. That
spi-
fires out like a
strident?
rocket.
A rocket sword.
Right?
Yeah, there's a singing
What does
sword.
it sing?
Just like old-timey crooner tunes, you know.
Makes sense.
Like in
You
Roger
know.
Rabbit.
And if you shoot the invisible swordsman, you get told where El Guapo's house is. Yeah.
If there's more than one singing sword, do they have
Yes.
some sort of sword chorus or?
Well, you really want to get at least 4 for a solid sword quartet.
We can't get past the swords.
We want to make sure the swords are harmonizing.
We actually don't care if there's actually mechanics for this game. We just want to know more.
wait, I have an important question.
Yes, for sure.
Is there an id sword? Because that sounds like a sordid concept to me.
Oh wow.
I feel like we're spinning off a little bit, and we've lost the edge of this conversation. We need to like get back on track and like get to the point.
We lost the edge of this conversation. I like
Yeah.
what you did there.
Yeah, that's what
Good
she was
point.
doing. Yeah, I
Very
saw.
nice.
I saw what you were doing there. I got
Very
I helped.
sharp. Very
I helped.
sharp.
Yeah.
Well, so as you can tell, it's a really ridiculous module. It's old school revival. There's 3 stats. It's super simple, and it's the kind of thing where because the stats are so simple, it's really about the players making up a lot of narrative ways to constructively solve problems. We had somebody who did a bone rites ritual for the ghost of the Empress of the Temple of 1,000 Swords. Somebody else
10,000 swords.
10,000 swords, pardon me. There was the meeting of the goddess of the swords. There was the forging of a special swords. Oh, I have to also mention there is a a species of very violent duck people in this temple, of course. The way I describe them is Howard the Duck meets Jason Momoa. So ripped, but old duck from down below, old duck from up above, but otherwise Jason Momoa.
Oh no.
I know, no, it really ruins ducks and Jason Momoa at the same time for you, for sure.
I didn't know you could ruin Jason Momoa.
Which half?
We've done it, folks. We're breaking new
Which
ground.
half?
Which half? No, well, as I mentioned, down below, all duck. Up top, all duck. Right in the middle, right in the money. It's all Jason Momoa. That's right. Yeah, yeah. And I had a blast. We had such a fun time. Also, shout outs to Dead Gamer Society who who presented this game. They're a cool little horror community that work out of Geeky Teas in Burbank. So super fun. I had a great. It was my first time running at this con. This is my third time coming to the con. It was the first time running. Had a blast. We had a hoot. We were all laughing. What can I say? Ducks are great.
Artem, is there a sequel to the Temple of 10,000 Swords?
It's the tomb pool of 10,000.
That's right. Yes, the cathedral of just 2 spears, just 2.
But they're like really sharp spears.
No,
That's why
they
it's
just blew their budget on all the swords. Now
you
it's
haven't
just
seen
2
the spears.
spears. So
Yeah,
yeah,
you
so
really cut to the heart of it.
I know, right? I'm very
Right to the
direct.
point.
It's a
10,000 times.
yes, it's a piercing observation.
That's the joke Kimmy made that
Thank
no
you.
one gave her anything for. You can't take it back now. You can't be the guy in school repeating the joke the lady made.
Wow.
I believe
Wow.
I can.
Folks at home,
I mean, you
things are
can't put a
heating
pile
up
out on
in the Happy Jacks live show. Woo!
Snap.
Wow, knives are out, and so are swords. 10,000 of them. They are all out. Are there any
all you need is
questions?
a fork.
Would anybody else like to know anything else?
I said it was barely contained, yes. So did you get asked to run this module? Is this something that caught your eye? And if so, like what caught your eye about it?
Yeah, so I've been kind of playing a few games with the Dead Gamer Society, and I just saw that there was something they were like, hey, if you want to run some for Strategicon. I've been looking at Cairn, this old school revival, low crunch system for a while. I don't know what it was, but it like spoke to the heart of like, I want to have more narrative, more storytelling happening in these sort of traditional games. And I love the idea of there's no proficiency bonuses. There's no modifiers. You have 3 stats, you roll under them. The rest is between you and the table to figure out and create and make it exciting. And the module actually comes from this writer named Brad Kerr, and the creator of Cairn and Brad Kerr have a podcast together called Between Two Cairns. So the creator of Cairn, Between Two Cairns. It's a great podcast. And I really like Brad Kerr's vibe. And he's really into ducks. Specifically, these ducks have like pronounced nipples. If I could ruin ducks and Jason Momoa any further, pronounced nipples. That's just something about me that really caught my eye.
Do they have other Artem? Do they have other like modules and stuff that's out there for people to play, or
Are there
is it-
other animals with abs that we could possibly talk about?
I wasn't going to ask that, but sure. Now I'm curious to know.
This like just went off the this question just went in such a different direction than I expected. If anybody had asked at the beginning of what caught your eye about this, and duck nipples is where we ended, that was not something I would have.
This game brought to you by
Yes.
Joel Schumacher.
So anyway, the question was other modules.
Oh, for sure. So, as with a lot of like wonderful gaming communities, it's like, oh, what is this little book? Let me look into it. It's like it's got so many fans, so many rabid like niche fans who are super into like Cairns, who are super into these sort of like old school essentials, into the odd, Knave, like people who love these old school games. And I'm such a like newbie being like, what's this? It's my discovery. I'm so excited. Nobody's heard of this before. And a lot of people have heard of it. So yeah, there's a lot of really cool modules for Cairn. Brett Kerr's got a bunch of stuff for Cairn as well, but look them up. Cairn, Brett Kerr, Between Two Cairns. Yeah, there's a lot of nipple ducks. Google that. Google that.
Please
I
don't.
recommend not doing that. Yeah.
That's right. No filter, baby.
Private search on. Trust me on this one.
All right.
Please turn off my search engine.
Not on my computer, please. Not right now.
Open up the work computer.
All right. Thank you so much. Yeah. All right. All right.
Who would like to follow Duck Nipple?
Ampersands. Welcome
Artem,
to the
apparently.
show. I already said your name, but who are you and what makes you famous?
Hi, I'm Ampersands on Discord. Hello, camera. Hi, I'm Ampersands on Discord, Jason in real life, and all the Ampersands on Twitch. And I'm famous for dying in video games on stream. And most recently, actually, I got something this time. At Gen Con, apparently, me and my friends at the the Pocket Dragon Pub. Happy Jacks is us. Never mind. Thank you. Well, I never speak into a microphone except for here.
Yeah.
The first actual at a convention live actual play of the Wild Sea, and we were also apparently the first cosplayers of the Wild Sea. So now I'm apparently the premier Mothrin cosplayer. There we go. Yeah, so Friday, I got to play Candela Obscura for the first time.
Ooh.
Yeah. So that was super fun. So here's the thing. So I got the book months ago, not sure when I was ever going to get a chance to play it. Made a character anyway. Made a septuagenarian dirigible racer who's had a great life, traveling the world, racing dirigibles, drinking, getting into fights, and learning about different places, and retiring, and then having a second start in Candela Obscura. Never thought I'd get to play this character. Saw this here at this convention. Somebody ran a Candela Obscura session on Friday called the Great Airship Regatta, and I was like, what? Hello. So, yes. Oh, thank you for making that happen. The one who's the person who's head of RPGs is in the audience that made that happen. So thank you for making that happen.
Can I ask, does your septuagenarian airship racer have a talking golden retriever?
No.
They should, because then you get that whole Disney tie-in, and you get some cool, sweet Disney money.
I think that's how that
catch the
works.
reference.
That's not how that works.
No.
I think it was an Up reference. I think it just took a lot of steps
the
to
up
get to
reference.
it. Yeah.
Okay, got it. But
And
that's
all
not
got
technically
it.
Dirigible. But anyway, but it was great because because there
Tough crowd.
The story was something about one dirigible that was a new prototype that ran on a new element that was ghost powered. But also the ghosts came from the caved-in mine from 70 years ago that was outside of New Fair. And basically, it was a combination of ghosts shouldn't be used to power airships, and also there's a ghost labor problem to manage. And so it was like, yeah, well, we're going to help the labor. Obviously, we're in the favor of helping labor. Yeah, unionizing the ghosts, or at least getting to the bargaining table again. So, but no, we made that happen, and no, it was a great time. Nice. Yeah.
As a union rep, I support all ghost labor. Labor.
As someone who unionized demons once on a Happy Jack show, I agree with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We did that. Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
I need to take a quick poll of the panel here. Is it dirigibles or dirigibles?
Dirigible.
I believe it's dirigible.
Dirigible.
What's it like to be so wrong?
How about dirigible?
Definitely not that.
Derek Jeter. Wait.
Yeah, got it in one. Okay.
Okay, good job. All right. Friday.
Yes.
Yep. Jason has a Friday.
Jason and I both have the same Friday.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can talk about it together.
Yeah.
So I played again. Oh, jeez. Okay. I have to take the monitor out to talk because it's not. It's like 5 milliseconds behind what I'm actually saying. So, as is my habit at con, I have been going to Adventurers League more and more often, which, as an indie game developer, this may seem odd to you to learn about me. It started as a, how dare you, I'll show you how terrible Adventurers League is, and then I fucking had a good time.
Damn it! That'll learn them.
Yeah. That'll teach them. So I go usually one session every con now, and it's a good time. And I found out Riley was going at a particular time, and I just hoarded in on that, and I invited myself, because that's what middle-aged cisgender white guys do.
I don't. I don't think that's how it works. It's a con, and anybody can register for.
Well, no,
the
Kimmy, I think I
game.
understand because I think it's my understanding that among the Happy Jacks community, Jason's not allowed to enjoy Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. Not without fixing it.
I mean, that's not in
I will say,
writing.
Jason has spent most of the con fixing.
It's an
D&D.
unsaid thing.
It's just peer pressure.
Anyway, I wanted to try out a D&D build that I'd sort of played around with in Baldur's Gate 3. I know the rules aren't the same. It doesn't matter to me. So I tried out Fighter level 1 and then 4 levels of Wizard because we were tier 2 and we got level 5. And I didn't get an extra action yet, but I played the Abjuration Wizard.
What? I didn't see. I'm being good. I'm quiet.
Yeah, we'll see. The record will show. And the getting to play with like some temporary hit points and the way they do the arcane ward in the tabletop version was really interesting. It's interesting to see the difference of it. But to be able to feed it abjuration spells and have that refresh and playing ostensibly a wizard as a tank character. Again, I was like, I'll show you that this can't be done. And like, oops, I'll tank. Like, I did a pretty good job. I mean, I also did a pretty good job of letting the other guy go first and get just absolutely walloped. But, yeah.
I didn't hear the question.
Neither did the audience.
Is Jason a conquered people? I don't think so. I don't know what that means. I'm sorry.
There's far too many Jasons for that to be the case.
We're taking over, if anything.
No, but Jason, I think letting the other guy go first is called tactics.
Yes. Yeah.
I think it's called
a
initiative
wizard, not a
order.
barbarian.
Strategic fallback.
But anyway, it was a good time. Our GM, I thought, did a pretty good job. It was, got us through time, and we got to fight 2 small dragons and beat up a dragon's minion who she was unhappy with in front of her. She's like, here, instead of killing you, beat this guy to within an inch of his life. And we're like, okay, we didn't like him, so that's fine. That's DandD morality, baby.
Riley, do you have stuff to chime in?
Yeah, it was actually that fight was really interesting because it was very explicitly stated by this dragon, like, do not kill him unless I change my mind. Like, if it's entertaining, I'll have you kill. It was very like gladiator kind of rules of like, oh, if I thumbs down or whatever. But I was playing a Tempest cleric, which is a like nuke, so like all of her abilities are like very deadly, and so it was very fun. Like I'm the kind of cleric player that's like, I might pack some healing spells. We'll see how it goes. But I was glad that I had, because I very much had to spend more time than normal healing and buffing the party, because if I had done any of my attack spells, I would have started killing people that weren't supposed to be killed. So, but yeah, this is actually my very first Strategicon. So I'm here. Thank you. And so I didn't really know. I'm bad at asking how things work, and I'm better at coming to things and being overwhelmed, so which is what happened. So yeah, I kind of got a last minute invite to come, and I'm here, and I didn't know how to like sign up for a lot of games, and Jason actually very lovely. Like I ran into him yesterday while the merch room was being set up, and he kind of walked around and gave me a guide of all the things that were happening, and like here's where you go to sign into things, like if you're coming in for a walk up and things like that. So I was only signed up for Ventures League, and long story short, what Jason was saying earlier. So basically, I this summer DM'd at a summer camp all summer for a company called Game Masters for Hire, and I was working for them, and the owner basically bought us all tickets to the con as like a thank you for all the work we did, and we've been playing a lot of games together with the Adventures League, which is why Jason joined a table that was otherwise me and my 3 co-workers essentially, and a GM. So that's why Jason was like, oh, I glommed into this game, but you were very welcome and you were great, and it was very fun. But before we did that, we went to the Games on Demand room, and I finally got to play For the Queen, because I had I had never played it. Yeah, so I bought the original printing of the game like 6 years ago, and then I took it with me across the country when I was staying with my now ex-girlfriend in Ohio during the pandemic, and it might still be among her belongings, but it's definitely not part of mine. And so I never got a chance to play it. And it was a game that I was very excited to get to play because I love narrative building games. But then it was out of print for so long and things like that. So I had not picked up the new version of it. So we ended up playing it in the on-demand game room, and it was very fun. And it was one of these things where like the game design is just witchcraft, because I got this elaborate narrative where I was the like concubine of the queen, but I was very underappreciated and manipulated and gaslit by her. Like it was just wild how every single card was like, how obvious is it the queen doesn't love you? It was that kind of thing. Like it wasn't that, but it was very close to that. And it was like, it was just wild how every single card. So the other three, I feel like all of your cards like kind of built off what each other was doing, and I was having this whole separate like tragic romance with this queen, and I was like this is hitting too hard for my actual dating life of how I'm treated. Like everybody else is involved in like this revolution and like making a deal with another country, and I was Mark and I was basically dealing with Maureen from Rent the entire time. Like, basically, that was my.
Everybody
yes,
will be,
revolution, but what about my feelings?
Everybody will be surprised to learn that I turned into an android who was being oppressed.
What?
I was a robot boy again.
Yeah.
And also, from what Riley was saying earlier, basically, I've never done anything bad ever. So thank you. You heard it from Riley.
But yeah, that's been my con so far. So I will say, so since we were so aghast at Adventurers League, I skipped an Adventurers League game tonight to be here instead.
Woo!
So yeah.
You
I was
told your
supposed to-
GM though.
I did. I told the con because it was the Epic. It was like booked up, so I made sure they knew so the next person can get the waitlist spot.
It's also like a real life friend of yours, so it was like
yeah.
all right. It's funny you were talking about the dragon like telling you to beat the, and I'm just picturing like they're actually in like some sort of kinky like relationship. She's like, beat him, don't kill him unless I say so, but beat him, and you're just all of you are like, okay, cool.
It wasn't not.
That's actually me with the. That's actually me with the queen in front of the queen.
Yeah.
His safe word is Mordekainen.
Yeah, there's a whole theme. All right. Anyway, so if I run 5th edition ever, like I guess, or whatever the next one is, whatever. If I ever run
The
D&D,
Jason
It's also
and there's a
5th edition.
bossy
It's a whole
dragon
thing.
with like a subordinate, you'll know what I'm thinking about. All right. Anyway, sorry, that was an overshare. Okay, Saturday. Okay. Oh no.
So I ran a game Saturday morning that did not have 10,000 swords in it, but it's a game called
What
Outgunned.
about Kinky Dragons?
They could have had that.
Okay.
But I ran Outgunned. It's a game by Two Little Mice, a wonderful studio of game designers from Italy who were so excited at this year's Gen Con because they won a couple Ennies that I'm sitting in the audience watching them dance around on stage just cheering. And I went, I'm buying the game. I have no idea what it is. I'm going to buy it because they're just so excited about it. And it turns out it's a great game. It's a game that takes place in the 1990s, and it's your favorite 1990s action movies. It's a very easy game mechanic system to run. It's sort of like Yahtzee. You know, you do pairs, 3 of a kind, 4 of a kind. The more you get, the better the success is. This morning, I ran basically just the game that came with the adventure book, mainly because this was the second time I've ever even really run it. First time being like the night before, and I still a little fuzzy on the rules, so I was like, I'm going to do their sample adventure. But I ran it where everybody were Muppets. So Kermit was a spy, Miss Piggy was was the martial artist. We had Gonzo as the daredevil. We had Sam the Eagle as the kind of corporate fixer guy. Animal was a hitman, and it was great. Artem, who's still in the audience, played Kermit, and admitted that he likes the Muppets but hasn't seen much of them, but was doing a spot-on Kermit voice, which was awesome. Oh, yes, Artem, you really should come up and do this. But Outgunned is a great system. It's super easy fun to run. Come on, Artem.
It's weird to have Kermit playing these
we're gonna
Statler and Waldorf moments.
We're going to have you two talk about it together, too.
Yeah.
Hi, Brian. I had a great time playing your game. Kermit T-Frog here. Hi, Strategicon. What drew you to the game?
So part of the game is when you have to make these. I made character sheets for all the Muppets, and you have to put down like their catchphrase and their flaws. And granted I was doing a little procrastinating, and I was I'm like
did a great
researching what is like Gonzo's full name? Like
The Great.
Right, but he's had several names. But yeah, it was the Great. But like apparently Ralph the dog's last name is Dean. Who knew? You know, James over there nodded like you didn't know. My favorite part though is Ralph the dog's flaw was he can't stay out of trouble, but his motto is stay out of trouble. That's my motto.
He's a good boy.
Yeah. So the game was great. They jumped out of an exploding airplane. Some of them didn't have parachutes. Had to beat up mercenaries on the way down trying to grab parachutes. There was a lot of screaming, a lot of Muppet flailing. But Outgunned is honestly, it's a great system. It's super fast to run, and it's a non-fail system. The rules say you can't fail. Because you're a big dang hero in the 1990s action movie. So you just sort of mess up, but it still works out.
Well, Brian, I just want to say you did a great job. And you definitely did not fail. You're a great GM. Everybody, a hand for Brian. Yeah. Okay.
Your Kermit veers into Ray Romano once in a while, and it's kind of fun.
I will say, I did get a lot of nods from the players when the person giving them the mission, like the James Bond M role, was played by Beaker, and all I did was walk in and say, the director looks at you, and he slaps a big folder down on the table and says, me, and then I let them decide what the mission was.
By the way, to answer your question from earlier, there is a kinky dragon in the Muppets. It's Uncle Deadly, the kinky dragon. So there you go.
Yes, but he has to pay double for that kind of thing.
There was you showed me the dossier that you sent. You actually had created a folder with photos, and it was like a full-on prop that you would see in Hollywood. I was like, that's commitment. And then he says, well, yeah, because I didn't know the rules, so I thought I could razzle dazzle.
It's 100%.
So that's a good lesson, y'all. If you don't know the rules.
Don't tell them our secrets.
Is that what you have to do when you don't know the rules?
Yeah, yes, Photoshop.
Huh.
Also, if you're trying to like procrastinate from doing all the commissions you have, Photoshop.
Jason, why do you think D&D has so many minis? Because there's no DM that knows all the rules. I'm going to roll this map out now.
Oh, yeah, that chair. It's a monster. It's I don't know, a mimic.
Yeah.
That's what it's called. Yeah.
Amazing. All right. Other Saturday morning. Yay!
He's back.
All right.
I'm back. No, I played Pirate Borg for the first time. This is a lot of first-time games this convention. Shoot, actually, Cody, can you hand me my character sheet? So we played a game that was completely randomized, including character creation. I didn't know that the GM wasn't running a pre-planned adventure because he was just rolling off of tables. But I'm going to tell you about my character.
No, you're gonna eat that microphone.
I'm gonna make you a sign. Yeah, I'm gonna make a sign that says Ampersands, hold the microphone closer.
Yeah.
So that'll be the gift next time. Fishy Nick is a merfolk who got cursed to be half a ghost, so from the waist down. And it's also a zealot that worships Satan, but can only cast silence.
Wait, it does seem though that that's better than being half a fish in the middle.
Sure.
The middle half of a fish.
Well, duck nipples.
With the duck, yeah. Yeah. Hot dog water.
Which half casts the spell?
The top half probably.
I don't judge. I mean, I don't know.
Let's see, and started the game in a dark pit, but with 1,000 silver because he got into a debate with a priest, and I'm going to guess that it was about who to worship, and it's like, well, why do you worship Satan? Well, because it's a laugh, isn't it? Yeah, no, and with a parrot named Pinky Lazar. So I mean, that was just randomly generated. Oh, and I had 1 hit point. Which worked.
So you were playing first edition Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, exactly. That's
as many as you need.
Fishy Nick did really well until he didn't, and it was super good. No, but we had a really fun time. We had a almost total party kill at the end, and everybody had a great time. And it was super funny, and yeah, no, it was fantastic.
That's awesome. And I mean, that's sort of like the deadly, like rough nature of the Borg games, like the Morkborgs and all this stuff. Like you kind of play and you expect to hit the fan at some point. Like it's just supposed to be that way.
Can I admit that it's only like right now that I'm realizing that Pirate Borg actually has nothing to do with Star Trek?
Oh boy.
Oh.
I've never played it. I don't know.
We love you, Brian.
I would love getting excited. Like, ooh,
you're so
Pirate
pretty.
Borgs. I
You're
mean, that
so
would be
pretty.
cool.
He is. Look how nice his beard
Look how
is.
nice you look. You're so pretty. Thanks for being on our show, Brian. All right. So have you played other like more board and family games?
No, never. This was never. This was my first. I'd heard it was deadly, and I was like, "Is it deadly?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I said, "Okay, so how do you bring new characters?" And I'm just like, "Is it any form of realism?" And he said, "No." And I'm like, "Great." Because that's more fun.
Morkborg, the simulationist combat game.
Yes, exactly. In preparation, I found a website that had a bunch of random tables from Workborg, and one was how to introduce a new character when the old one dies. One of the examples was a purple portal opens up, and a giant hand reaches out and takes the body of the dead character, leaves, a second passes, and then a different hand brings a different person who's still alive in, drops them off, portal closes, the end. No explanation. So, because why not? Why do you need a reason? So,
And it says when they die, not if.
pretty much, yeah, when they die. So, no, it was fantastic. And we were talking about this, like it seems like it would be good for a short campaign. Like, we're going to run it for like 3 or 4 sessions. I don't know how you do a long campaign. I don't think people would want to, but no, it was super fun. Yeah.
There is ironically a hack called Duckborg.
I heard about Duckborg.
Yeah, and it's just as lethal.
Oh,
Talk about the nipples.
And yeah, there are. You're playing ducks.
Yeah.
There's also Borkborg where you're playing the Swedish chef, so that's also a big part of it.
Please, can somebody please make that game if it doesn't? Does it actually already exist?
I don't know. I just thought it needs to
needs
exist.
to
I was trying to bring it back to make Brian feel better because
All
Brian
right,
didn't know.
12-hour game jam. Let's go.
So Duckborg by a friend of the show, Gem Room Games. So yeah, here in Duckborg. Okay, that's 100% why that game got made. Like, and you are ducks with like big weapons. It's very fun.
Apparently abs.
Yeah, and abs. I guess nipples.
Yeah.
I don't know why ducks need nipples. I'm very hung up on this. I think I'm very like too much science. They're not mammals. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, why do they?
Be glad you didn't hear that, audience.
For once, the audience is the winner.
So if you
All
want
right.
to send Kimmy a gift, no.
I mean,
Ducks.
Oh, okay.
Your daughter needs a duckling.
I'm like,
doesn't
I
she?
don't need lactation gifts.
I think we should go ahead and stop. I think we should pump the brakes on sending ab ducks to Kimmy's daughter. Let's go ahead and pump the brakes on that. Okay.
It's off the rails. I can't stop it. It's gone. I've lost control. I have no patience. Like, yeah, okay. Anyway, more Saturday morning. Yay! Who are you and what makes you famous?
I'm James. James V 1971 on Twitch, which means I'm one of the mods. So behave while I'm off the keyboard.
Yay, live mod.
Was also in our Friday from the Queen game.
Was in the Friday for the Queen game. I was the assassin. I was the only one that stayed loyal to the Queen. Thank you very much. Traitors.
She reset my lover.
Oh, forward. Sorry. Thank you. So Saturday morning. I'm not in front of the camera. I'm behind the camera. So Saturday morning, it was a Cypher System game. It was basically Eldritch Horror Cypher System. Cypher System is a D20 system, but it is not D20, the other game. It is Monty Cook's version of it.
Say the name.
Some of us like it.
I love it. Thank you
It
very
pays
much,
some of our
Brian.
bills.
So, okay, true. So, hey, DandD kept me sane for a very long time. Yes, but this game was great. The only problem was the entire table was rolling single digits, and we were still managing to succeed because of the way that skills work and all the other fun jazz. So, it's the standard murder mystery. Guy gets murdered. Eldritch clues. At the end, I blew up a dirigible. Nice. Thank you very much. Dirigible. Yes, I blew up a dirigible. And I was one of the only people that got killed and was found in the Puget Sound several months later because of the level of explosion. But the tentacled thing that was holding people by their heads did get destroyed by the guy with the flare gun because apparently my explosion wasn't good enough. So that was Cypher System for Saturday morning. Amazing. Yes,
awesome.
Quite fun.
I haven't played Cypher System for a minute. So how did it, like, when you're talking, explain a little bit more for those of you who haven't played Cypher System about why it's such a pain in the ass to roll single digits the whole time.
So it's a pain in the ass, but it's not a bad thing. So in Cypher System, you have your difficulty, and starts from, and every level of difficulty is 3 points on the D20. So if you can buy the difficulty back down to a 2 or a 3, you're only doing a 6 or a 9 that you have to beat. So you can still roll single digits and succeed at your task. You just would really rather hit that 19 or 20 where you also get that extra Benny with the hit. So you'll have a minor benefit on a 19 and a major benefit on a 20 for your success. But we could still survive on 6s and 9s. And occasionally somebody got a 10 or an 11. And it didn't matter what dice. Several of us, we're gamers, so everybody had multiple D20s. And doesn't matter which 20 you threw, it was single digits. It was just that kind of a morning.
Are you sure you weren't rolling D12s?
We counted the sides. It was definitely 20 siders, Brian. Yeah. Now I did throw a couple double D6s, but that was for damage. So it was a good time. It was fun. The person running it had their daughter there, and so it was a fun table all around. I got to be a professor, which everybody that knows what I play, it's like, okay, so you knew everything. Gotcha. Yeah, it's kind of my brand. It was a blast. It was actually.
I will say the interesting thing about about playing games with James is that he apparently doesn't own a regular set of polyhedral dice. Like every time I play with him, he's like, "Well, I'm going to use these like 12-sided D8s and like that are also D7s," and I'm going, "What?" Yeah, fine.
I also have triple D4s.
Right. He's like triple D4s. It's an octuple. It's an octuple D2. I'm like, I don't even know.
Apparently, I now own a 3,427 set of perfectly normal polyhedrals, Brian. So
I can't help but note that you don't use them.
But I have more interesting dice, Brian.
Yes.
But that's why you can still survive in Cypher System. It's just those times where you're like, I can't buy down that level 4, which is a 12. And we keep rolling 11, so you don't quite make it. But that's also where more interesting things happen, and the zombies get to like hit you with the wrenches and things like that, and But you got a suicide.
You can dodge a wrench. You can dodge a squid.
Exactly. You can.
That's not true.
You can't dodge a squid, Bert.
Hang on.
Level of squid. Yeah, we gotta get the right level of squid. So, yep, that was my Saturday morning Cypher System.
All right, awesome. And dice are falling from the sky. That's always exciting.
Okay, I want to clarify something really quick because I'm a huge fan of these special D12s. Right? You can count up to 4 3 times on a D12, and so there's 3 1s and 3 2s and 3 3s. There's 12 sides. You're in it. You could count up to 6 twice, so you could have a D6 D12, right? Or you could have your D12, and that's super fun. They roll so nice.
I believe we were promised there'd be no math.
It's beautiful. Is counting math now?
I was checked out. What did you say?
I teach kindergarten. Yes.
Yeah.
Counting is math.
Roll so much nicer and will not murder you like the D4s will.
I believe I'm a writer, not a mather.
Sad. A sad state of affairs.
Did you come to the tabletop podcast? Like, are you in the right room? We do math here with little rocks that do it.
They can't get me to leave.
We can't. We tried. So anyway, so Saturday, other Saturday games.
I ran one Saturday night.
Saturday
afternoon.
games.
And there are a couple of people who played that game, and I'd rather them talk about it.
Ooh, well, why don't you introduce it,
Okay.
and then we'll have them come up.
Fair. Right? We're dealing with microphone issues. I ran the Happiest Apocalypse on Earth.
Ooh.
Wait, what is Happiest Apocalypse on Earth, and who makes it?
It's a any nominated game by Christopher. Which is not. It's actually not fair to say because I was running second edition, which is not any nominated. It's the new system that I'm building and currently deploying. So there will be another Happiest Apocalypse finally after all these years.
Yay. Nice.
And I got to run it today at con, and it's let's face it, that was old tech that I was working on. That game came out right at the first phase of PBTA. And right after it came out, PBTA innovated and became really awesome. So I was sort of in the older design aesthetic.
Eat that, Mike.
I'm just gonna hold it like this. I was in the older design aesthetic, and so it's kind of clunky. It's really clunky. Let's face it. It's kind of hard to run and play. But with the new system, which is the same engine that runs Highcaster and Dungeon Caster, it's much, much better, I think. So
Wait, what's Dungeon Caster and Highcaster?
those are not any nominated
They're any eligible.
or eligible.
They could be.
Those are the other two games, which one is High Fantasy, one is Rogue Fantasy. And those are available for sale at Strategicon if you come to the Happy Jacks booth.
As seen on Happy Jacks.
I feel like I'm being coached.
Why? Yeah.
Only when
You
necessary.
got this, kid.
So anyway, I had a couple of awesome players. I think the fun part about Happiest Apocalypse especially is that everybody gets the tropes right away. We're dealing with Cthulhu Disneyland, and everybody knows that. And so they just come in and bring it to 10, and it was 11. It goes to 11. And it was just a blast. All I had to do was sit back and watch them, and I'd like them to tell me how it went.
Now, is the going to 11 like new for second edition, or have they always gone to 11 with the concept?
10 used to be lower.
Oh, I see.
No, it's always gone to 11.
Is that on normal dice or just on the special dice?
11 is louder on the new edition than it was on the old edition.
And who played in this game?
Is it a 12-sided D2?
All right, we'll have Davi first, and then Artet.
God, no.
Hi. So I played the character very much against type. I tend to play gloomy people or quiet people. So I decided to run. Melody, call me Mel. I am from guest services, and we are here on the happiest mouse place on earth. And let's put our hands together for the royalty of pancakes, the loveliness of starch, our own Princess Buttermilk.
Hi, my royal subjects. What a
She's so
pleasure.
pretty.
Well, as everybody knows, every dairy maiden has her day. If you churn some curds, you'll make some whey.
Oh my God.
I decided there must be a breakfast themed area of this wicked Disneyland, and I was Princess Buttermilk.
Kimmy.
That's right. Everything was dairy and cream based poetry. You know, Kimmy, some truths hurt and some truths burn. To get cream, you must butter churn. It's deep. It goes deep, folks.
Your Highness, is it time for the creamy cream dance?
It is time for the creamy dance. And we had a hoot.
I also like that your rhyme is to get cream, you must butter churn, which is the literal opposite of how you actually do it.
She doesn't know.
I'm a princess.
People for that.
That's not princess work.
Butter works the way I say it works.
I'll be taken out and beheaded.
Can we have this be the next show on Happy Jacks? I think this is a show begging to happen.
But
Dibs.
the
Oh yeah.
come here, Your Highness. Yes. Hi. Now, everyone. Remember to, if you can't quite get a smile, turn that frown and turn it around.
And if you're feeling golden, if you're feeling proud, out of pancakes make a shroud. Right? I'm a princess.
And when you throw the evil cultist off the top of the roller coaster, remember to give the warning of Persamento Sentiado, por favor.
Carmen centavos, por favor.
It was a monster show. There was a Yeti, there was a Matterhorn, shenanigans ensued.
Still just like chef's kiss concept for game. Like, as someone who spent way too much time at Disneyland in my life.
Yeah.
Sorry, you can spend too much time at Disneyland?
No.
Go with kids.
No, it's much better without them.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Oh, right. One of the players sat down and she had pens on her lanyard. And I was like, ding, ding, ding. So this particular day at Mouse Park was Pinapalooza, where all of the pen traders of all over the world descend upon Mouse Park to relish in pen trading. And it was thousands upon thousands of people waiting in line on the hottest day of the year to trade pens. And one of the pens was magical. You actually were able to use it. Yeah. What are you doing?
So... The pen trading thing is so real. It hurts. For those of you who don't know, now you know it's a thing, and there's a lot of them, and they take up a lot of space at the park.
They literally recently had to make a rule that the pin traders can't set up at like the benches between two sections of the park because they were basically building like shops for their pin trading and benches that were designed for like accessibility, like and like we're suddenly like, nope, this is a pin booth now.
All I'm suddenly imagining is like a West Side Story parody of like the pin traders, like.
There was.
Basically, yeah. They
were
used
fist fights in the game.
They,
It was, yeah.
They did. Yeah. They used to have smoking sections, and now they have pin trading areas that they like force you to congregate if you're pin trading, which is better for all the rest of us.
So Princess Buttermilk had special pins that you had to get other pins to get those pins and said it too loudly, and that created a stampede.
Yeah, that's
and
real.
There was a lot of danger. There was a lot.
That's so real. Like so real.
And then that stampede churned that butter into cream.
Perfect. And that's how the egg was made.
Okay, fantastic. I love it, and I love that game is like having like a new edition because it's a amazing concept.
Yeah, I'm actually sad to learn that it was being played today because I would have probably tried to make it down here. I've been wanting to play it for such a long time, so that would have been great. Yeah.
Yeah.
But alas, I won't get to play it ever.
It'll happen.
I was saying to someone earlier tonight that it's one note, but you can hit it over and over and over again. It doesn't get old.
Yeah. You know, it's like the Jaws theme. It's got dun 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 dun, but it's very evocative when you have both notes. Like it's just important.
And this game is available someplace, huh?
Well, not the one they played today. It's not yet available.
Soon.
But it will be. You can get the old one for free. Just go to drive-thru and
When's the
download
new
it.
one gonna be available?
Yeah,
I don't know. Don't pressure me, man.
Is it available now?
A play test.
Oh, now.
A play test. It was an early like sneak peek.
It was.
That's what it was.
Only at the con.
Only at the con.
Look, it'll be
Only
available,
at the
but first they
con.
have to take out the old rides and put in the new rides. And so far, we don't yet know what part of the land the new rides are going to be.
As soon as Chris can get $3.8 billion, he's going to take out the old rides and put in the new rides.
Okay, as someone who's worked for Imagineering, they don't take out the old rides anymore. They just redress them.
Yes.
Because that's one of the things I've done. Oh no, we'll just take this skin off this robot. It's Elsa now. And a lot of glitters on Elsa. So much glitter. I still find glitter in my car. It was like 8 years ago.
That's why the robots all have really bad identity crisis issues. I just was Mr. Toad. And
Let it
now I don't know who I
go.
am.
Let it go.
Androids get no rights.
That's true.
I mean,
And that's how this space, the pirate board.
most of the time they don't get faces either right now. Really creepy.
Star Trek pirate board thing. Yeah.
I did in the afternoon, but are we still on Saturday morning? Saturday morning? Saturday morning?
Saturday afternoon.
Oh, Saturday afternoon. Right. Yeah, I usually run games on Saturday morning. I did not this time. I ran a game on Saturday afternoon. I ran a game called Starscape, and I did something I'd never done before. I used like a written adventure for it. Yeah, it was weird. Even though I wrote the adventure, it was very weird, and I was not great at it. It was like, well, yeah, I mean, it was fine. It was also like, oh, okay, here's some information. Oh, there's a text box I'm supposed to read about this. I should know that because I wrote that, but I forgot. So here's what it says in the text. Wow, this is a good text box. Like there's a lot of this happening. Yeah.
Is this the one I saw?
Yeah. This is the afternoon one.
Yeah.
All right. So it was a fun learning experience. It was the first time I've actually run the adventure that I wrote. It was like the little scenario that was released with the Kickstarter, which I wrote in a flurry. And like, oh, okay, I have 48 hours. Cool, no problem to do writing and layout. Great. I did it. It was actually a pretty good little adventure. I liked that one of the design choices I did, like for each challenge or each thing, there were three like kind of branches you could take. You could do the physical one, the scientific one, or the social one. So there were three different ways written out in the scenario for them to conquer the challenge or the problem. Obviously, people can come up with their own too, but I just like the idea. Kurt Potts, who did Lighthearted, came out with One Last Great Day adventure that he wrote as like a memorial that was a fundraiser for a suicide prevention charity. And I loved looking through how he laid that out and how there were multiple ways to solve each problem that were written out in the scenario. So I took that a step further. Instead of having 2 options, I had 3 options. Just because that kind of fit really well with the Starscape's mechanics.
I just realized the options are flirty, nerdy, and dirty.
Yeah. Yes.
You're welcome.
In
thank
space,
you.
no one can hear you say, "Oh my."
Oh my. Okay, yeah, there's too many jokes. I have to stop my brain. Okay, so yeah, so it went well. It was exciting. I should have stapled the pages so I didn't mix up the order they were in, which is fine. Rookie mistake, a total rookie mistake.
Kimmy, I believe you also ran the game al fresco. 'Cause you were outside.
Oh yeah, we did. We took a break and we went outside for a while. Absolutely. So the players. Yeah. Okay. So, do any of the players who played it want to come talk about it? All right. You both can do it. You can both talk about it. Yeah. Okay, James.
We know who I am and why I'm famous. Yeah. We know who I am and why I'm famous. What?
Look, turn to the camera.
Weird dice. Yes. So we played in Starscape. We did our character creation and our links, and I ended up being the giant high gravity rhino warrior that the other players the other characters liked. No, they actually liked them. It was each other that they were having some issues with, but they worked that out in time, so it worked out well.
People had interpersonal problems in Starscape. I can't imagine that being the case.
No, I was also the only one that ever hit 5 trust. I don't know why, but I was basically the big slow, but don't call him dumb, because luckily nobody called me dumb, so I didn't have to have my red rage of my seeing Reddit moment, which I was hoping, but we were all being nice to each other to a certain degree. Well, except for Rizzy and Zaire, but they'll get there. But yeah, so we were playing the module. You ran it fine. Every GM I have ever done, both myself and otherwise, will go, I start explaining things and go, oh, let me read this text box that I just explained, and I hit all the points that the text box had. So it's like, you did fine. All right, so went through the game. It had, all the good bits and pieces, and, we had intrigue, and we had conspiracy, and the slow security guy was like, well, what if they did this? It's like, ooh, that might be interesting. Okay. But otherwise, it went well, and then I also got to spacewalk and rip a canopy open and pull a guy out of a fighter and slam him into things as I brought him back in, because we didn't have a brig. So where do you keep a guy if you don't have a brig? the airlock.
Picture with like the Midwest. Oh, sorry. Oh.
Exactly. Yes, it was. It was literally that. But yeah, and you know, we had the whole all the mechanics worked. The spaceship combat worked really nicely. It wasn't, you didn't work at cross purposes. You worked together. So, you know, you'd occasionally get like, you need at least a 7, and I got like a 6, but the others got an 11 and a 10. So I just hurt myself a little bit as opposed to the ship, which works out. So yeah, and it worked really well. It flowed. We had plenty of time to talk and have fun, and still got like the whole game done in 2.5-ish, 3 hours. Yeah, so it worked out really well. I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Yeah, it's interesting to see like and hearing back from people who've run it, like how it times out for different play groups. And one part of it, there's supposed to be a like a captain's meeting, like Picard-esque meeting, and lots of people have been like, oh yeah, people have talked and stuff like that. I sat down to do it with them, and they were like, yes, we're doing this. Yep. Okay, I guess we're done with this. Good job. All right. Like everybody's on the same page. So did you want to come up, Jason? Okay. But yeah, that was super fun.
Deary Ghibli. No. No, so I played in that same game, and I played Zir or Zar. I think we landed on Zir. But we pronounced it both ways. Well, how do you pronounce it?
Dirigible.
Dirigible.
A dirigible?
Yeah. Please? Yeah. No. So I played the Unknown playbook. I was Android, possibly born, possibly created. Jason's playing robots. Let's go. No, it's super fun. So they were like unclear on. They weren't the most emotive person, and they were unclear like how people experience emotions until they acted out and locked our friends in our NPC friends in the med bay. And when I calmed down, I was like, well, I'll say I butt dialed it. You know, but then again, to the point of us being all agreeable, like everyone was like, no, that's a great idea. We can say that it's a part of the procedure, and we need to keep them in there until we get things sorted out. But no, it was really good.
You missed the coolest part of that though. Like when you did that, you also, since you were like an AI who like was made of lots of nanobots, like you literally were so upset you started melting while you were yelling about stuff and like kind of losing form. It was cool.
And melting into a computer we needed, and you know that was going to cause problems. No, that was super fun. This was actually a playbook that a character you did that was pre-generated. That was super fun. They were all really neat, and also to the point of you were saying earlier about reading the like the box text twice. When I'm playing as a listening to the GM describe things, if it's a box text, sometimes it'll make my mind wander because I think, and it'll remind me of something else. And I'm like, am I making connections? Or just reminded me of things. So hearing it twice was actually a benefit. And having it explained, the same thing explained twice in slightly different ways, that actually was like, I remembered more things that way. So I'm kind of wondering is like, maybe that's a accessibility concession or not concession. What's the word? Accommodation. Thank you. And it's it was super fun, and it was my second time playing Starscape, and I'm so glad we got to play that today. That was super good.
Kimmy, did you have them read their Ascendance moves?
Yeah.
They can't hear what you just said. What did you just say?
I'm saying, so at one point in this game, you had locked everyone in the med bay, and James had locked everyone else in the airlock. So like the ship's empty except for you wandering around going, well, no, this is much better.
Everybody except the 3 player characters, yeah.
I mean, for now.
For now. I mean, maybe it's a new game we play, like lock each other in stuff, you know. It could happen.
I can't do that, Dave.
In space, no one can hear your safe word.
Yeah. The kinky dragon from before will really love that.
Kimmy.
Dave.
So,
Dave, beat that guy up, Dave.
Did anyone get to use the help move?
They did. They use both versions of the help move now.
Can you describe what those are?
Yeah, so there's the assist move, which is like you can just give someone a +1 if you technobabble and you give them your chance at using technobabble, which technobabble has a little chart, which we've talked about before, and I am very proud of the chart. And every time...
It's very good.
I love it. And then there's Got Your Back, which is the new name for the movie you like so much.
Yep.
Whereas if someone rolls badly, you as a crewmate can roll one die and replace their lowest die, which is super fun, and you can make it worse. So you have to like decide like, okay, they rolled a 3 and a 6. We really would love to get like over 10. Is it worth it? Is the chances of me rolling something lower than a 3? Like, come up here. You have your hand in the air. No. Oh, sorry. You two next. You next, James. If you have something to say. You said yes. You had your hand in the air. You have a question. Who are you and what makes you famous?
I'm Mike James, and I'm not famous at all.
Scooch in,
You
scooch in.
you don't know me.
Move right.
Keep going. So I'm sorry. Yeah. So my question. My question also.
Let's have you two both scoot this way. Yeah.
There we go. There we go.
There you go.
My question, since I've also playing a playtest version of this with my friends in Star Wars, do I have to replace the lowest die if I think replacing the highest die would be funnier?
Yes.
Never mind.
Well, you do your own table, Kimmy will never know about.
I mean, I am not usually in your Discord paying attention, so if you can do whatever you want. Yeah.
I will add that I use the Technobabble table at least 3 times, and that's probably not enough. It's one of my favorite things in that game.
Yes, the Technobabble table has been used in other games. The audience is informing me.
I grab the Technobabble table when I'm getting a spam call.
Wait, who are you and what makes you famous?
I'm Jim and I run RPGs. That's good. But I'm also
Jim is out of frame. Let's get Jim into frame a little
this
bit.
way.
Yeah.
But also being friends with Mike and being in the same game, I have discovered.
And you've also been on the HappyJacksrpg podcast in an actual place.
Yes, I have, and very pleasurably, actually. Some of the best games I've ever played. But once again, when playing Starscape as a game, I have developed this real love for failing. No matter how I roll, I know it's going to turn into something that's going to be fun and exciting and great for the story of the game. Like when I actually managed to fuck up a social situation so badly that the villain that I made up as a distraction turned out to be real and come after me. So so it actually made the whole scene was improved by the fact that we failed, and Eli, who's also been on the Happy Jack actual plays, who's running the game, made the consequences of those failures so much fun that everybody just was going, you stop caring about what you roll on the dice, whether you succeed or not, it doesn't matter. It's going to be great. And
Eli
you're telling a
joined
great
the
story.
chat just before you started talking about it.
Eli!
We've been talking about you the whole time.
It's gotten weird, actually.
In a weird way.
Yeah.
You know what you've done.
But no, it's been a great experience playtesting this game and running it. But like I said, it sort of changed my attitude towards gaming in general. Because although I thought that Powered by Apocalypse games already had that factored in, for some reason running in this game actually just increased the intensity and the enjoyment of that factor of these sort of narrative style games. But yeah, it's great fun.
Aw, that's so kind.
I recently got to play in an actual play of it with Artem, and we was run by Clara from the channel as well. And it was like a lot of times when we were playing it, Clara was like, I have a natural reaction to my friends fighting and arguing, but that is what this game is, and it's supposed to happen. And it was great. It was fun to watch it play out. But there is that sort of like you have to let go of not wanting drama at the table because it is so much baked in. And I was like, yes, but the difference is the game has the drama, the players do not, and that's what's really important about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it
takes
doesn't
a mature table, is what Jim said from the audience.
But it doesn't have to, because like, was it last con or the one before, I was playing in a Starscape game that Kimmy was running, and this young woman came in, and this was the first con she's ever been to. The first role-playing game she'd ever done was Starscape, and when she's like, can I play, I don't know, this sentient cloud of fungus? And Kimmy goes, like little tears every now. Kimmy's like, yes, you can!
I'm so proud of you. I don't know you, but I'm so proud of you. Yeah.
And also the nice thing is if like to the credit about the maturity thing, if you are not comfortable role playing those things out, you can just let the mechanics dictate what's happening and describe things. So I think there is that element of it as well, which is nice.
Yeah, it's all
nice that
scaffolded and supported and
yeah. And for only $19.95, you too can have a copy.
Yeah,
that's not the price. That's just me
No,
thinking parody.
Yeah,
I'm not in charge of
don't
the
know what the
business of
price is gonna
Starscape in any way, shape, or form.
Okay. You're all very, very kind. Thank you. That's very nice. But yeah, so I also learned a lot about writing modules today. And I was proud of what I'd written. And I was very proud of how it looked because I did the layout for it myself. So that was a learning experience. But it was really interesting to see it pace out and see what beats hit like I thought they would and what beats didn't hit like I thought they would. Because usually I'm an improv GM. So at the table, I know what's going to hit because I've made it out of what the players have made. So it's a very different thing writing a kind of skeleton for an adventure that can work for any combination of the pre-gens and things like that, and any combination of players, and kind of like writing like plan Bs and plan Cs for like, if this happens and this doesn't quite hit, or if you do this. And there's also things that I found that I do when I run Starscape and other people do when they run Starscape that I need to put more like prompts in there. Because Jason was talking to me earlier about when I run it, that Ampersands Jason, I pointed at. But yeah, I'm surrounded by Jasons. It's fine. They're great. That I ask how characters are feeling a lot. And that's one of the things that's in the rule book. But I need to like put more examples of that in the scenario for people who are jamming it maybe for the first time who haven't read the whole rule book. Because that really is when the adventure really started heating up, is when they started having these connections between each other and the crew that they were trying to save. At the beginning of the story, they'd all made connections to the crew on this other ship. From their past. So then like when they found out who had survived and who was injured and all these things while they were trying to do the rescue attempt, after marking conditions after that had happened, trying to resolve those and using the crew moves when they got back on their own ship after that is really when it felt like the game started firing on all cylinders. So I need to like spread that frosting across the whole cake. I'm hungry, sorry. All right. Cool.
I like Kimmy writing preset modules like, yes, welcome to the dark side, Kimmy, the mainstream side even.
What? I feel so dirty. Okay.
Saturday night games.
Yeah, other Saturday games. Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening. Yeah.
Hey, there's Cody.
You raised your hand. Here you go.
Guilty.
I love that you looked at me and glared at me because I was pointing at you, and literally everybody at the table behind you was also pointing.
Would you like us to do it again? We can.
No, don't. It's fine. This is fine.
Hey, Cody.
All right.
You're good at what you do and people like you.
Hey. So are you. Yeah.
I did not expect that.
Oh, they found a counterattack. They found a counterattack to your bullying, Jason.
Counterspell. You got it. Okay, so the Saturday afternoon game I ran was my game, which is Extraordinary.
Oh, I love
2
this
words.
game.
It's so good.
Yeah.
That's right.
Sorry, he's also in the game. It is a game about extraordinary kids on the run from constant danger in the ordinary world. So like, if you know Animorphs or Maximum Ride, or kind of Percy Jackson, but like not necessarily Percy Jackson. I also describe it as X-Men meets the Goonies. There's a lot of like comparisons out there. Yeah, Escape from Witch Mountain was one of the inspirations, yes. And so it's belonging outside belonging, so it only uses tokens. No, it's GM-less, so everybody is trying to contribute to the narrative together, which I found is the hardest thing to get like people who are used to playing in GM'd style play, so like your PBTA, D&D, getting people to really get into the everyone can just jump in and throw some shit at the people currently like narrating what they're doing. It's hard to get that off of like training wheels, but once you get off it, it's so juicy and good. I ran another game. I think Friday afternoon. Friday night. I ran another game Friday night. That was I used like a module, much like Kimmy, and realized that I'm also not good at. Well, modules are hard. I don't use them, so I don't know how to write them. And so for this one today, I just ran it like it was the session 0, session 1 of a game that would go on forever, which is what the game's intended to be. It's intended to be long form, and it went so great. We had oh God, I'm so tired. I'm blanking on everything. We were in the 90s in the Pacific Northwest. We were.
Wait, what?
What?
That's my home.
We were going to hunt down Jason, and so we were in the Pacific.
It's legit.
We were going to hunt down all the Jasons. That was the mission.
That's a long mission.
Yeah, well.
Jason's activate.
Going Jason hunting, gonna get a big one.
The one I'm most scared of is Jason Bourne, but whatever. So we were a bunch of kids. We came up with this, there was a tech company chasing us, but we were all descendants of spirits, like nature spirits and elemental spirits. And we had this connection to nature, but we were also technologically advanced. And so we were being chased by a mega corporation, this tech company. My character's dad was the CEO of the tech corporation. We had a kid who grew up in the R&D labs. We had a surfer dude who just did not was I'm just a surfer dude, and then he drowned and then came back to life and had a connection to water, and he was like, this is chill, probably this is fine. It was the coolest, craziest group of people. What happened? There was a little Caesars in there. Salmon, a bunch of salmon came out of a puddle. What else? I electrocuted several cars and some people. It was great. We had a fun time. And yeah.
What happened in the game, though?
I will say that the great thing about Extraordinary, because when we played Friday night, is that since it's a GM full game, a lot of them is, you obviously everybody takes turns narrating things, but what's great about this is alongside your character sheets, you have these other sheets that are the world, the environment,
aspects.
your need, these aspects. And once the players get the idea that, you're grabbing these when someone's narrating something and you're just using them to react to what the players are actually doing, you get out of this sort of, I'm the GM, I have to give you information mindset, and all of a sudden it's how many cool obstacles can I throw in to have them play with? And now it's out, everything's on fire. Go.
Yeah.
And it works out really well.
Yeah, no, I mean, you explaining that to me this morning afterwards was so helpful in how I explained the rules to the squad today, and they got it much faster than we did at the table last night, which was really good. I need bullet points. I had the book written as bullet points, and then I went, I'm going to make it all prose. That was a mistake. So I'm going to turn it back.
Are you listening, Wizards of the Coast? Prose.
Just
not great. Bullet
prose
points is the way
sucks.
you need to go.
As a prose writer, prose sucks. But yeah, no, I had a great time. I don't know.
That was brought to you by Big
Yay.
Bullet.
Excellent.
Yay.
Excellent work.
Yay!
God, the bullet lobby even gets the points in the gaming industry. It's just the worst.
Big bullet point is real hard.
My God.
Okay. Awesome. Any other Saturday? Well, I did this podcast. No, there's one more? Okay.
I think Cody could mention that this Extraordinary is going to be kickstarting really soon. Please.
No, next year.
Next year?
Yeah,
That
2025.
is soon.
March
That-
2025.
March.
Yeah,
It's
don't give them a
geologically
palpitation.
soon.
It is.
It will be kickstarting at some point.
Let Cody sleep
Yeah,
first.
yeah.
In 15 minutes, it will be March. Keep your eye out.
You can go and click remind me on the page, and it
You
will
could
tell you
march
next
to
year.
the Kickstarter page.
When I played at the last con, it really struck me because for some reason, I don't know if it was the table or the mechanics or a combination, I really felt in touch with the character. And that's something that's kind of rare for me because as a game master, I tend to jump characters so much I don't ever really get too immersed. But I was just playing like a little kid, and I just felt like that little kid, and it was really good. That sticks in my memory as one of the better games I've had at the con. So congratulations,
Oh,
Cody.
that's
That was great.
awesome.
You can't see it, but Cody's really uncomfortable with the amount of praise we're giving them, which is why we keep doing it.
I mean, yeah.
It is
We get it.
well-deserved praise, certainly, but it amuses us all to heap more praise upon
Okay,
it.
let's make it better. We praise you.
Praising you. Praising you.
We're pointing. All right. All right. I guess that's a wrap then for so far.
Oh, what? James has a thing. with
James has a box.
What's in the box, James?
Who will have played something on Sunday?
This is a follow-up from an advice show moment.
You're only half on camera.
A little way back. Oh,
You're-
I'm not
like,
camera.
there
Let
you
me
go.
get back up here.
There you go.
So this is a follow-up from an advice show moment. Actually, two follow-ups, technically. So, as most of us know that have watched the advice show, there is a mini Kimmy in existence. And a long time ago, about last year or two ago,
She's almost 5.
oh God, you're reminding me. So a while back, the comment was made that Mini Kimmy was taking Kimmy's dice, and normal dice are not good for very small children. So I took it upon myself to send some foam dice for Mini Kimmy that she apparently loves. So obviously, the child of a gamer loves dice. So I also found out this last year, apparently Kimmy will borrow Mini Kimmy's foam dice because she doesn't have her own foam dice. So now there's 2 sets. There's a set for you. Okay. That is this is actually the second edition of the same foam dice. If you want to bring them out and show folks. Yeah, these are 4-inch foam dice, safe for rolling. Oh yeah. And then I got a slightly smaller set that
nice
you could
roll.
use for the kindergartners. That a little bit easier and manageable on the table. So this is for you as our favorite teacher. All right.
Kimmy, that will be great for your kindergarten Call of Cthulhu game. you're gonna do.
Exactly. Exactly. So that was my last little thing. And Kadave, if you're watching, Jason's going to present you something on the next Starscape show
I've
that
got
you don't
something
get
for
to
you,
see
bud.
on this stream, but I'll show the folks after we turn the camera off. All right.
It's a duck with nipples.
Starscape.
Right
I
After
don't
dark.
do duck nipples. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. And thank you all for joining us. This has been our live from the convention show at Gateway 2024. My name is Kimmy.
My name is Riley.
My name's Brian.
I'm Chris, going back to my dirigible.
I'm Jason Zero.
And I'm James B. 1971.
And this is our amazing studio audience and all the people who've been on the show so far. We're heading to the bar. We love you. And may your dice always roll well, whether that's high or low, or if you're playing Amber, then just look at them. I don't know, stack them. Okay, bye.
Bye.